Hello, everybody. It was an impressive session, and I would say that we might be out of the clear. However, once again, I couldn't get my final hour rally or get my final minute rally to end at the high of the day that I wanted. Stocks look pretty good overall, but you see we didn't close at 50, 51.72. The high of the day, Russell 2000. You can see that it's near the high of the day, but I got some last minute bars that show it coming down a little bit. But overall, it was a solid day. It was great. But overall, the last 5 minutes was strong. Really don't have a whole lot to complain about. I'm just being a little nitpicky. I would have liked to have seen the market go out at the exact high of day across the board. That would have really convinced me that, we want to really blast off. But as it is, everything looks pretty solid. Volume was higher than the session before, but unfortunately, across the board, volume was once again below average. So it's hard to be too excited over today's gains. The oscillators are still trending down, but they're starting to round up off their overall lows on the very short term. So that could imply that we've gotten a little oversold and that we are going to bounce. The Russell 2000 especially is coming from deep oversold levels in stochastics. MACD getting near there, but it's definitely got room to run if it wants to run. And we had a lot of stocks moving, so overall, not a whole lot to complain about. If volume would have been huge today, every model would have switched because I believe that the price move is good enough. And also what I didn't bring up yesterday is that the Investors Intelligence Survey is at a 6-month low for bulls at 46%. That is oddly enough strange considering with the NASDAQ we're only about 0.81% away from all-time highs. The S&P 500, how close are we to all-time highs on a closing basis? Is that an actual new high in the S&P 500, 2121? I don't think it is. Let's see, 2121. Is it really? How did I not notice that earlier? So I believe that the S&P 500 is breaking out to a new high. It's too hard for me to tell here, but it looks good enough. And if that is the case, then I am wrong on my analysis tonight. And I tell you what, this is how little I pay attention to the overall indexes and how much I pay attention to individual stocks. But basically with this close in the S&P 500, if it closed at 2121.10, that is a new 52-week high, and that also confirms the NYSE, which I did switch to a buy operational signal by the end of the day. I know for a fact NYSE is at a new high, but now that I know that the S&P 500 excuse me, is at a new high, its model is also switching to a buy signal, so that's great. But I need the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 to switch also before I start increasing the size of my new long positions. And on that note, we have two of them tonight. AMBA is not only a CanSlim quality stock, but it is also a perfect speculator scan quality stock. As you can see, oscillators are confirming the price and volume move. Pocket pivot point buy signal. The only problem is that earnings are on June 2nd. So I can't make it 2.5% CanSlim, 2.5% perfect speculator. I can only do 2.5% and add another 1% for it being perfect speculator. And then another new long signal is ABC. ABC's oscillators are starting to trend higher on the most shortest of short terms. Either way, though, they are pretty oversold, and this stock is consolidating tightly. I profiled it recently on StockTwits. Following this day, I made note that I would have gone long this stock if it would have closed at the high of the day, but it didn't. So I really wanted to see it move above the 116 level. But today, big enough volume surge. BOP only fell a little bit from its previous day's highs, so it's still nice and green, and it closed above where it opened on that volume surge. So by getting long here, I risk way less than if I wait for it actually to trigger a buy stop, because either way, buy it here or buy it if it hits a buy stop, it looks like it does want to move higher, so I can kind of cheat it. And if I am wrong, the final cut loss level will be a move below the 113.03 level, or you could even do 112.12. So either one would work. I might even do half 113.51, half 112.12, just to give it a little bit more wiggle room. But ABC, 2.5% for it being CanSlim quality, 1% for it being in the pre-perfect speculator scan. And then AMAG was the one that triggered in most of the scans tonight. Oscillators are confirming the move. Stochastics, RSI, TSV, MACD, all good. You can see that on a Zoom 3 chart, had a big gap away breakout and just amazing holding of that gap away high of day even. and is just continuing to trend higher. Getting up closer to it, you can see it closed above where it opened. Nice intraday reversal on strong volume with very strong move in green BOP. This stock is being confirmed in the new high scan, so it's in my new 52-week high scan. So it's great to see the stock hitting new 52-week highs ahead of the NASDAQ, which is the index that this stock is in. And it is also being confirmed in the price volume BOP scan. So what it is it's a 2.5%. Excuse me, I am so sorry. If it was a new long position from the perfect speculator scan, then it would be 2.5%, but it's an add signal. We're already long AMAG from right here. We already have a 7% gain in the stock. So this is a 1% add signal for it being in the perfect speculator scan, 0.5% for it being in new highs, and 0.5% for it being price volume BOP scan. And then CSBK is giving another add signal. However, this stock, because of the volume only being just above average, is only in the CanSlim quality scan. But because it's CanSlim quality and because it's NYS, even though it's NASDAQ, by it being a banking, savings, and loan stock, I considered it an NYSE S&P 500 type stock. So with those models, NYSE being under buy signal now, with me seeing that the S&P 500 is also in a buy signal, CSBK is a 1% add position, even though it was a 1.5% add position, or 1.25% add position, excuse me, on the 12th. So 1% for it being in the CanSlim quality scan. If volume would have been big, and it would have been the price volume BOP scan, then it would have been 1.5% position. But once all of our models are under a buy signal, it'll be 1% CanSlim, 1% for it being confirmed in any other scan. So AMAG tonight could have been up to 3%. For sells, UVXY failed, so it closed below the lowest low of it had. I think it was like 942, 948. So whenever it moved below 948, I was out, but it is a full sell on an end-of-day basis. And then shockingly, intraday, this kind of surprised me. One of my ULTA stops, I have 3 stops on this one, but one of them hit intraday, and I kind of was surprised by that. But you can see the oscillators look pretty ugly. They're trending down significantly. You got a pocket pivot point sell signal for 2 days in a row. So overall, ULTA is a 50% sell. I don't think I would ever let it go below these lows in March, but I'm raising my stops, I think, to here, here, and here. So these 2 days right here will have 2 series of stops. There's too many strong stocks, and if this market breaks out, to stick in ULTA. And then also TZA, with it closing on a closing basis below 1015, that is a 50% sell signal. And now what I have left, which I think is about 1,000 shares, 500 of them will be sold with a move below 991. At 990 they trigger, and the other 500 will be sold with a move below 946.